So I've got to replace fader 9 on the AW, and I'm going to get started on working on it today, or tonight. Best thing to do when taking this thing apart is keep it on something soft, so I'm using my old bed here to try and do that. I'm going to use this really thin flat screwdriver to get these face sliders off on the fader. What name escapes me at the moment at the top. But I'm going to get those off. I'd rather have something like plastic or wood to keep this from getting scratched up as much. But it's what I got it right now, so I'm going to see what I can do here. Just slide under, gently work it up. There's one. Try this. Go ahead and move that down the way. Pop it up. There's two. Three. Four. Five. Six. Seven. Eight. Nine. 10. Well, it looks like I got that one right there. There we go. But anyway, just move the faders up till about the middle. Next thing to do is just flip the unit over. Alright, so next thing to do here is we gotta remove every one of these screws. There's screws all around the outside. 3 here, 4 there, the 2 that hold the cover over the CD tray, another 3 here, none in the back, but you do have 2 right here, 2 here, 4 here. All that has to get removed. And of course it looks like I also need to re-glue some of my feet on. So we're just going to start doing that. Alright, that seems like all of them. Cover comes right off. So here's the inside. Good thing about this machine, with all these cables here, they're only long enough to go where they're supposed to go. So when you take them apart, you're not really going to screw anything up by putting them back in the wrong spots. These are your open bays for any kind of cards that you wish to put in. That's your hard drive card. This is the actual hard drive, or no, not hard drive, but the, sorry, power supply. CD. Anyway, this separate board here is where the faders sit. You need to take out 3 screws here and 3 screws there, and that should be it. And these screws, kind of hard to see, they're about the same size as what I took out of the casing. In fact, they are the same size. So it doesn't matter if you mix. Doesn't matter if those get mixed and matched. And I think that's going to do it for that. Maybe? What, am I missing one? Nope. That's just the faders underneath. Okay. So here they are. Now this whole board, we can actually just disconnect the faders. These screws here. Those guys are just like hard drive mounting screws that you can get from any computer shop. These ribbons, you can gently just pull these things out and push them back in, and you'll be good. Alright, let's go ahead and get started on that. Okay, I should take care of those. Now these are actually have these little tangs here. They slip into the board, kind of holding it all in place. You just pull those out. And here's your fader board. This is going to be fader 1 through 16, and of course that's the master fader, and they are all identical. They are all the same. And what it is, they're all soldered in on the back side. Yes, you might be able to see. I've already had some repair work done to this thing. Parts are getting old. This is a 20-some-year-old machine, so yeah, got to replace them as necessary. Alright, flip that over. So the only things we need to worry about pulling are just going to be this one, that one, this one, that one, and that one. And they just pull right out pretty easy. Faders are out right there. Again, channel 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, master fader. Let's see, number 9, which I think is this one, right? 2, 4, 6, 8, yeah, so it's this one here. This one is failing on me. I gotta fix that. Alright, well, I took the motor, or the fader out, and I checked the resistance on the motor, and it seemed to fall in line with the rest of them. And it also happened to be one I replaced before. And if I show you here, when moving the fader physically, it actually reacts and it reads. If I change scenes, let's see if I can do that. 0. It should be moving, but it's not moving here. So with the resistance of the motor showing that it's pretty much on par with the rest of them, and I'm still getting reading from the fader itself to the machine, it leads me to think that maybe the connections made need to be resoldered. So that's something I can do later. Okay, I didn't pull it out. I don't know how well you can see it, but this part right here, a long time ago when I first tried to do this, I ended up burning out the little metal barrels or rings that end up connecting the bottom of the circuit board to the top side. So there's a little wire right here that we ran through and stuck on the bottom and to the top. That apparently somehow came loose and was not making good connection. Just out of a hunch, I tried to test it here. Let's see what I can show you. So anyway, as you can see, just fixing the solder joint, everything's working again. Anyway, that's pretty much how the fader board right there. Sorry I didn't show how you take them out, but essentially, here's what you do. Essentially what you do, so you get a pretty good soldering sucker, like this guy, mechanical guy. Just get it to lock down like that. And then you'll come in here with your soldering iron, maybe some solder, and you'll heat it up nice and hot. And then before it solidifies, you can stick this over and make sure, as long as the tip is bigger than the soldering area, just put it over like so. Push the button, plunger would come up like that, and it would essentially suck out the solder. Fortunately, I didn't have to do that. My problem is all just a bad connection. Okay, so now it's time to just start assembling, and all it is just doing everything in reverse order. everything feels good there. Next thing to do, lay it back down in this tray. Alright, with the tray set back in, we just put in the screws. And it's going to be all those guys right there. Not all of them in that one spot, but you understand what that means. And with that in place, we go ahead and stick on the bottom panel. Make sure all bolt holes line up, and they do. And then we just go ahead and go around and put in all those little screws we took out. Alright, and the feet here in the front there, place this one's off. It's actually in the bag there. That's just a matter of heating up, getting them to come off, and regluing them. No big deal. So the next stage is turn the machine back over and put on the faders. The faders, of course, here's the master fader, but they're all pretty much the same. They just clip in. And you want the indent, you want this indent to be on the left side for all faders because you want to be able to see the numbers here. So just put it in, pop it down, and that's it. And that's how you do that. Next thing to do, plug it back in, turn it on, see if everything still works. Alright, machine's booting back up. Let's see what happens. Hey, they all moved. Awesome. Everything's working. Well, that's good. Now I can remix a new album.